I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
With the offseason coming shortly, rumors are starting to spread. One of the rumors was about Dennis Schroeder. In an interview, he has stated that he wants to leave the Hawks and join a team building in the right direction. So, in today's video, I will be taking a look at Dennis Schroeder's trade request and 3 teams he's likely to be traded to. If you are new and enjoy the video, subscribe for more NBA content. But with that being said, let's get right into this top 3. Number 1. The Indiana Pacers. In his interview where Schroeder released the fact that he wanted out of Atlanta, he had mentioned 2 teams he'd like to be traded to. One of them was the Indiana Pacers, and this is actually a pretty good destination for Dennis. Schroeder is right, this Pacers team is going in the right direction. With Victor Oladipo, Domantas Sabonis, Lance Stevenson, and more. They were able to make the playoffs and take LeBron James and the Cavs to 7 games, when they were predicted to be a lottery team before the season even started. Well, the Pacers are a young team, and the current starting point guard, Darren Collison, doesn't really fit in with Indiana's timeline. He's 30 years old, and yes, the Pacers do have Corey Joseph and Joseph Young, but it would be dumb to put them in the starting lineup. This is why a trade for Schroeder would be great, as he is younger than any of the other point guards on the team, and has shown he can be a reliable starting guard. So what would a trade look like between the 2 teams? I'd imagine Dennis Schroeder would be traded for Darren Collison and maybe Bojan Bogdanovic. The Hawks obviously want to rebuild and wouldn't accept any deal without a decent young player. I think the Pacers would throw in a first round pick too, just to sweeten the deal. If I'm completely honest, it doesn't seem likely that Schroeder will be moved here, simply because the deal in return wouldn't really help the Hawks too much, but who knows. So overall for Dennis Schroeder with the Pacers, he keeps them young, gets them an upgrade at the point guard position, and will hopefully boost them forward so they can become perennial champions in the near future. Number 2. The Milwaukee Bucks. This is the second team that Dennis Schroeder mentioned in the press conference that he wants to join, as they are going in the right direction. This season the Bucks finished with the 7th seed and clearly underachieved, so it's obvious they may need some extra help. After Bledsoe failed to shut down Terry Rozier in the playoffs, maybe it's time for a new starting point guard. Obviously, this team still has a ton of potential, so how would Schroeder fit alongside a future NBA superstar in Giannis Antetokounmpo? Well, obviously, Dennis Schroeder wouldn't be a main option on the team, as Giannis would be first, but I think that's fine. I don't think Schroeder would be an amazing first option. I don't think he has that kind of potential, but he can slide along really nicely as a second or third option, and that's where I think he will really shine. Right now, you could argue that Schroeder is a better player than the Bucks' current starting point guard, Eric Bledsoe, and if not, then he definitely has the potential to be better than him when his career is all said and done. He's averaging more points and assists than Bledsoe, and he's still a few years younger too. If a trade were to go down between the 2 teams, I'd see the Hawks sending to the Bucks Dennis Schroeder and Taurean Prince for Eric Bledsoe and Tyler Zeller. I think Bledsoe does need to be involved in this deal, otherwise I don't see it working for Dennis Schroeder's benefits, and the Hawks probably wouldn't get anything great in return. He's also been underperforming recently, so this may be a good move. Schroeder keeps the Bucks young and fits well with the team's timeline. So overall for Schroeder with the Bucks, he keeps them young, is an upgrade over Bledsoe, and fits the team's timeline well. The Hawks get a good borderline star out of the deal too. The Bucks with Schroeder could end up being a deadlier team to the Celtics and Cavs than what they are right now, and may be the better team in the future. Number 3. The Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the only team on this list that Dennis Schroeder didn't mention during the press conference, but I still think he'd be a great fit with this team. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been having a lot of internal problems, and a trade may be a good idea. So, how would Schroeder play with this team? Again, Schroeder wouldn't be the first option, but as I've mentioned, this will probably be a good thing. He'd increase his already decent efficiency and probably play a key role in the success of the Minnesota team. Right now, the Timberwolves have an oldish point guard in Jeff Teague, and though he was an all-star, he is no longer playing at that level, so picking up Schroeder wouldn't be such a bad move. So, what would a trade look like between the Hawks and Timberwolves? Well, something I should have mentioned earlier was the awkward relationship between the Wolves and Andrew Wiggins. By the sounds of things, not everything is okay down there, so I'm afraid we might see Wiggins being traded. This fits this scenario really well. As a rebuilding team, the Hawks would take on any young players, and especially someone like Andrew Wiggins. I tried so many trades between the 2 teams on ESPN Trade Machine, and I finally got one to work, so this is what it looked like. Dennis Schroeder, Kent Bazemore, Plumlee, and Taurean Prince are traded to the Timberwolves for Andrew Wiggins, Taj Gibson, and Jeff Teague. This may not sound 100% realistic, but it was the only trade I managed to do successfully, and I'm sure the Wolves would probably throw in a first round pick as well. If you have any better deals, let me know below, I'd love to hear them. For the Hawks, they are getting a young potential star on their team in Andrew Wiggins, and some vets to help mentor the young guys. The Wolves get deeper with some younger talent, and for Dennis Schroeder, well, he'll have a starting role alongside Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns. And that will conclude the top 3. I was originally trying to find 5, but I don't think there were too many realistic options for that, so I cut it down to 3. If you like this style video, there are more coming soon, so look out for them. But what do you guys think of this top 3? Where will Dennis Schroeder be traded? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.
2 phones flip, 2-tone drip. I got the plug on speed up. Racks on the floor like Newtown. Ooh, got a bitch mad, she pissed off. Zip up the package, shipped off. Red bottles walking no blood. I broke her heart, she ain't getting no love. 2 phones flip, 2-tone drip. I got the plug on speed up. Racks on the floor like Newtown.